One concept that really changed the way that I DJ is the concept of mixing backwards. Now that may sound weird and it might not sound like it makes a whole lot of sense, but let me explain. So the concept of mixing backwards is basically beginning your beat match to transition the next song in earlier than you normally would, and then using the beat jump function in your DJR software to go ahead and back up that track in time, allowing you to think about the next song you're gonna play to make a more cohesive and better set. Now, that may sound a little complicated, so what I'm gonna go ahead and do is I'll go ahead and transition the normal way, just bringing in the song at the point where you usually would transition in, and then I'll transition out of it. Then I'll go back and do the same exact transition using the beat jump feature to mix backwards. So let's get started. Okay. Now this is where I usually would just beginning to make sure that I have a sense of the timing. And then this is where I would normally start my beat match. And that's the normal beat match and transition process. But now let's try that again using the mixing backwards technique using beat jump. So let's get that started again. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start my transition 4 bars early. Now I can use beat jump to beat jump backwards 4 bars in time. And notice, because it's in time, I don't have to worry about getting it, right on time, and nailing that timing 100% is always gonna happen using beat jump as long as the tracks are beat matched correctly. Now think about that technique, but instead of just, a normal, quick 4 bars before you normally could transition it in, you can do this in a track 16, 32 bars before you would normally transition the track in, and just keep hitting beat jump back while the track is playing, and it's always gonna stay in time as long as both songs are locked in at the same BPM. Now this technique has really helped me out to not only make sure that my mixes land on time, but also allows me more time to think about the next track I'm gonna play or the next few tracks I'm gonna play to make my set make more sense, more cohesive, and just a lot better, and I'm able to mix a lot faster and still stay right on time. Now another great use of mixing backwards is songs that don't have a pretty distinct intro with a beat. There's those tracks out there, just like this one, where the actual track starts not on a perfect 1 bar. It kind of starts with a half a bar and some drums that don't necessarily land on perfect timing. But with beat jump and mixing backwards, I can make sure that I always land on time with these 2 tracks. So let's go ahead and get this song playing on deck 1. Just make sure they're beat matched. And now, I know they're on time. Then I can use beat jump to make sure I go back the right amount of bars. A tornado flew around my room before. And just like that, because I'm using beat jump and everything's still in time because the tracks are still at the same tempo, I'm able to bring this song in perfect time, even though I'm mixing it in early, and even though that first beginning intro section doesn't have a distinct beat, because I'm using this part of the track that has, beats on every beat of the bar, it allows me to mix it in a lot easier, and I'm still able to land it right on time. So I can do another example of that. Let's load another track. this one right here. And again, this track just kind of has a build up into that first beat. So it would be harder to beat match this and get this transition in with perfect timing, but using this mixing backwards technique, I can always make sure that it lands in on perfect time. So let me show you that right now. So again, just kind of make sure they're the same tempo. Start this track off. Then just make sure this lands at the right time at the beginning of the bar. Make sure it's nice and beat matched. Then just beat jump back. And just like that, it lands in perfect time each and every time using this technique. And again, this just makes transitioning a lot faster, a lot easier, and a lot more precise. The technique of mixing backwards really changed the way that I DJ. Because I'm able to mix faster, I can now think 2 or 3 or 4 songs ahead of where I'm currently at. And because of that, my sets overall are better and more cohesive. And I'm sure if you give it a try, you'll find that it might have some positive benefits to the way you DJ. Now for the question of the day. What techniques do you use to transition between songs that everyone might not be too familiar with? Go and leave that down in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. And as always, if you found this video useful, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up, as it really helps with the YouTube algorithm to get this video out to as many DJs as possible. Also, be sure to click the link down below in the description for my Discord community, as I release exclusive content that you can only find there. And if you're looking for more DJ related content, be sure to click right here. And if you haven't already, be sure to click right here to subscribe to this channel. See you guys in the next one.